listening to The Breakfast Show here on Faith FM with myself, Skafy. We have Lindsay and producer Shell with me in the studio as well. We have a new quiz question, and I also want to say something about Phnom Penh.
Oh, okay.
The city that we are praying for, because I've been there, actually.
Have you?
I have.
What's it like?
And I'll tell you all about it after the quiz question.
Oh, okay. Alrighty.
Producer Shell, please.
Our fourth quiz question of today. The first 6 chapters of 2 books of the Bible are dedicated to the story of rebuilding what?
Say that again?
The first 6 chapters of 2 different books of the Bible are both dedicated to the story of rebuilding what? I got Lindsay this time. You're partly right there, Skafy. You're both partly right. You both said the same thing. But yeah, I will give it to you. Very good. Yes.
Okay.
We got correct answers now coming in. 0491064669 is our text line. The question one last time. The first 6 chapters of 2 books of the Bible are dedicated to the story of rebuilding what?
Interesting.
Very good. Now,
And speaking of rebuilding things, if you want to rebuild how you deal with anger, if you're listening to our interview with Maria Andrioli, we actually have a resource that we want to give away to you. It is a book called Cooling Down Stress, Practical Steps to Relieve Stress, Anxiety, Depression, Improve Well-Being, and Deal with Deep-Seated Issues like anger and grief. If you are interested, if you'd like to learn more about it, if you want to experience a lasting peace, if you want to experience your emotions a bit less like a roller coaster and more like a calm lake, well, this book is for you. You can text us here with the hashtag #CoolIt. Hashtag #CoolIt to 0491 064 I also want to tell you that something is happening this Friday. What is it, Lindsay?
what is happening this Friday?
It is this Friday. We have the draw of the birthday
The wheel
prize.
will spin.
We are going to spin the wheel, and one lucky person will get a birthday gift from us here from the Breakfast Show. You can get a $50 voucher, a dinner with a host. You can choose a board game, a zipper Bible, or what else am I missing here? Cookbooks. There's a bunch of amazing gifts here.
And the
There's-
Great Controversy, new illustrated.
I was trying not to
Lineage
talk about that
one.
one, but yeah,
Why?
it's true.
Did
it
you
is
want
here.
to sneak
He
that one in
wants to
yourself?
sneak that
Just
one away.
want to sneak that one away. We have an incredible version of The Great Controversy by the Lineage Journey. It is such an
We don't
exquisite-
have it. Yeah, we have to get
we
that
don't
one
have
in.
it.
So,
Oh, I thought that he. That,
no,
we
that was his
got
only
a few.
copy. He didn't leave it with
Oh,
me.
Rude.
right.
Very rude. But he told me how to get a hold of them. But yes, so
Okay.
if they do pick that one, they probably won't come
Have
as
to
quick
wait
as some
for
of
a
the
little,
others. Yeah.
little while. Okay, well, whatever suits your fancy, we have got you covered here. So if there is still some time, so send now a text message to us with your date of birth if it is in February, so you can get into the draw to our text line 0491 064 669. I want to talk about Phnom Penh with you for a little
Yeah,
moment,
tell me.
Lindsay,
What?
since this is the city that we are praying for. I've been there. I've been to Cambodia.
Okay.
I loved it there. It was such a beautiful place. I'll tell you some of the things that I loved the most. I like lychees.
Okay.
I really like lychees. And I could buy lychees for $1 a kilo
What?
in Phnom Penh.
That's crazy.
And they were the most amazing lychees. And they came in all kinds of shapes, sizes, and colors. There's like 3 or 4 or 5 different ones.
Wow.
They kind of tasted the same, but they had like different shells
Yeah.
on the outside, which made them interesting. But not only that, for $1 or
Did you get
$2,
the red fuzzy ones?
yeah,
Like rambutan?
rambutans.
Yeah.
So this is the rich cousin of the lychees, the rambutans. For $1 a kilo, you could buy mangosteens to eat your heart's content.
What's a mangosteen?
You don't know what a mangosteen
I've heard
is?
of one. I just don't really know what it is.
It's my
Is
wife's
it like a mango?
favorite. No, nothing like a mango.
Then why is it called a mango?
I do not know actually what's
Anywho.
the etymology of it, but it looks like an apple with a hard shell.
Oh.
But you can open it up fairly easily, and then it has this white
Like fleshy,
creamy things, that are involving the seeds.
Yeah.
And it is absolutely amazing. It's my wife's favorite fruit, actually. It's very hard to find it here in Australia. Sometimes every now and again we find it. But if you ask my wife what do they taste like, she will tell you. It tastes like heaven.
Okay.
And I have to agree. It is very delicious. It's sweet. It's perfumed. It's amazing. Kind of like rose apples. Have you had rose apples before? Rose apples is amazing.
Wow.
We have it in Brazil. Also very rare. But imagine that you're eating an apple, but it has the texture of a pear, but it tastes like flowers and roses.
Wow.
It is quite amazing.
There's
quite delicious.
nothing about that sounds good to me.
Oh.
Producer Shelly's a hater of
She's a
apples, a
hater.
hater of pear. I'm expecting
I
to
love
hear
apple,
the...
but
Haters
the
gonna hate.
texture of pear is like I really don't like the
Really?
texture.
Pear's one of my
of pear.
favorite fruit.
Really?
Yeah, for the texture.
Ooh, I just can't handle those little crunchy little bubbly things that are all throughout the pear.
What little bubbly
Like not,
things?
I don't know, they're not bubble, but they're like it's just I don't like it at all.
Interesting. You're
Look, you
strange.
don't need to eat that one. You can give me your
And I don't like
rose
roses.
apples.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, you have to try this one.
Smell especially.
You know,
Is that
try-
why you didn't come to my birthday party in the Rose Garden?
I wasn't able. I would have been there.
There
she
you go.
just didn't like the smell of the place.
Anyway,
so she didn't
maybe
come.
I'm not selling it right, but I'm telling you, it's delicious. You have to try it. But that's one of the things. The other thing that I really liked about Phnom Penh, I liked it, but it's not something happy. It's actually something very sad. They have a museum there called the Holocaust Museum. Now, this is not to do with the Jewish Holocaust in Germany. This is the Cambodian genocide
Okay.
museum.
And you like it because of this reason.
No, I didn't like it, but I was very touched by it. I was very touched. It is in a school, and that school was used by the Khmer Rouge, which was this kind of revolutionary communist terrorist group that terrorized and ruled over Cambodia for a long, long time. And they use it as an execution camp.
Okay.
But when you go there, they tell that story. They give you like one of these headphones, so it's self-guided. You go to places, you point your the number of that station on your device, and it tells you what's there. And it was extremely sad.
Oh, okay.
But on the other hand, it makes me desire and long for the return of Jesus even more strongly than before. So I left there touched, but there's also hope because the Khmer Rouge was defeated ultimately, and there's hope of the resurrection. So it is one of these very sad stories, but that needs to be told. You need to be confronted with it, and I was lucky enough that I can have a response of hope and faith throughout that as well. So Phnom Penh, amazing city, great food, great history, culture, and great massages. If you're into massage as well,
I like
you can get an amazing full body massage for like $10
Oh, wow.
for the hour or something like that. It was
Just move there.
very affordable. Yeah, almost feel like moving there. It's just amazing.
Mango
country.
steams, massages, everything you'd ever really
They
want.
have a lot going for them. Absolutely. Cambodia is a great country. Shout out to my Cambodian friends and listeners here. You are amazing. You are an amazing people.
Awesome. Okay. Shall we dive into Philippians for today?
Yes, let's dive into Philippians. So let's go to Philippians chapter 4.
Yeah. Okay. Philippians chapter 4 and verse what?
Okay, let's look here. We were talking yesterday. We were talking about verse. I'm looking at the wrong passage here. Let's start chapter 5 today.
There's no chapter
Yes.
5. It's only 4 chapters in Philippians.
Ah, so you're almost getting done. So okay,
We're
so
nearly done.
yeah. So my apologies. I got it here now. Here's my Bible here. Apologize for the big confusion. So let's read from verse 10, please, in chapter 4.
Verse 10
Yeah.
says, "But I rejoiced in the Lord greatly, that now at last your care for me has flourished again, though you surely did care, but you lacked opportunity. Not that I speak in regard to need, for I have learned in whatever state I am to be content. I know how to be abased, and I know how to abound. Everywhere and in all things I have learned both to be full and to be hungry, both to abound and to suffer need. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Nevertheless, you have done well that you shared in my distress. Now, you Philippians know also that in the beginning of the gospel, when I departed from Macedonia, no church shared with me concerning giving and receiving, but you only. For even in Thessalonica you sent aid once and again for my necessities. Not that I seek the gifts, but I seek the fruit that abounds to your account.
Yeah, just pause here for a moment.
Sure.
So Paul it's about to end the letter, and he's just really thanking the church and saying, hey, just want to remind you that after I left Macedonia, you were the only church that actually helped me. You were the only ones, and not only once, but more than once. Time and again, you have helped me. And not that I seek the gift itself. It's not that I was really, not that I needed it, because God would provide for me even if you didn't do that. But I was so happy because of the profit which increases to your account. Let's talk about that a little bit. What account is he talking about? In which profit that is increasing when people are giving things? Because that's a little bit, they probably be they're losing money, not profiting. What's the deal here, Lindsay?
I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think there's an account in heaven.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Jesus says this. He says, look, store your treasure up in heaven.
Sure.
Where no moth can eat it, where, it cannot get rusty, cannot get corroded and corrupt.
So do you think we can, contribute to this account and in heaven with our treasury and, work towards
100%.
our retirement?
Yeah. Well, not that ours are. Well, if you want to call eternal life our eternal
heaven,
retirement, you can. The Bible says that there's not going to be money in heaven, actually. Did you know that?
Does it?
Yeah.
Where does it say that?
So, do you know the parable of the unrighteous steward?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, if you go to that parable of the unrighteous steward, when Jesus is giving the explanation of the parable, he makes a reference for a time where money will fail, where money will be no more.
Okay.
And he says, look, make friends using money right now before there is no more money.
Okay.
And a lot of people, myself included, interpret that as a reference of saying, look, in heaven, there's not going to be a need to have money. And when it comes to think about it, it is not going to have a need for money.
Okay.
Because heaven we're talking about an economy of infinite things, which is going to rewrite the laws of economics. Because economics is, do you know what's the definition of economics in the first place?
But I know you know a lot about it.
I know because I studied economics. I have a degree in economics. So that's a bit of an area that I enjoy learning and reading. The definition of economics is how do scarce resources get allocated between people. It's the study of why some people or some place they have something and not other people in other places. Yeah. It's not the study of money, but money is a scarce resource. It is a finite resource. There's not infinite amount of money for everyone. That's not how it works. So economics is like, how do we study the science of how these flows, these fluxes of resources, not only money but other finite resources get allocated and distributed. Now in heaven we have one thing called eternal time. Okay. If you have eternal time, you can have also eternal energy. And it is very interesting that Elon Musk was talking about it a few days ago, how we are not going to have money anymore in the future, but instead we're going to have energy credits. Have you heard about that?
I have not.
Yeah, because energy is going, because this is Elon Musk's theory. We got someone coming into our studio today. Yeah. It's a very special someone. He's not listening to us here, but Lawson popped by to say hi here.
Popped in. He's having a little hello.
Yes. Well, maybe he'll tell Lawson to come in.
Lawson.
Or jump in there, Lawson.
We want to say hi. Everyone wants to hear your voice one more time.
Lawson, where are you missing us?
Yeah, what's up, gang?
Hey, welcome back, my friend.
I was just in the neighborhood. Actually, I was getting threats from producer Shell. I borrowed a microphone from the studio, and she was about to take interest or something. So I just I made sure to come in this morning and return it early.
It's good to have you here, my friend.
Dude, what are we talking about?
We're talking about, you know how Elon Musk said that we are not going to be using money in the future anymore, but like energy credits. Have you heard anything regarding that?
I think this is kind of in line with universal income and a few other things. Yeah,
he's basically saying, look, if we're going to have robots to produce everything's going to be so incredibly cheap that there's not going to be a purpose. Like things are actually going to be costing energy, because energy is going to become the most scarce resource on Earth.
Sure.
So you're gonna have, Lawson, you have like your salary will be 50 megawatts today, and you can do with these 50 megawatts whatever you need to do with that. You can top up your car, you can run the air conditioning in your home. We're gonna be looking. So Elon Musk's prediction is that we're gonna be looking in terms of resources, mostly in terms of energy, and less so in terms of money.
If I want to buy like an apple, I have to give away,
how much energy does it cost to be produced?
Sounds like a good time to start going off grid, guys.
Yeah, let's get out of here. That sounds so lame. That sounds terrible.
Well,
We've got Janelle Kopp has messaged to say hello. No, we've got Chris saying good morning, Lawson.
Hey guys, what's up? I'm looking through the text chat at the moment. Shout out Janelle, shout out Chris, shout out Zach, shout out Liz. I'm just looking at all the names of people who have text through. Shout out Rachel. Good morning, guys, and hope you are doing well. Look, we are needing a.
Don't forget about David. David is here as well.
Oh, shout out David too. Awesome stuff. Look, Lee as well. But you know what these guys would love to hear about is our giveaway for today. What are we doing? Hashtag Cool It is the code word, which you can send through to 0491 064 669. This book is all about cooling down stress. That's all I know. I'm just reading the prompt.
If the conversation of living in a world that there's no need for money anymore, because everything's going to be infinite, including energy. That's the thing. So heaven is going to be a very different economy from what we have today.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So we're going to be continuing that and how that applies to the Philippians passage that we are reading.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
Awesome stuff. Well, guys, we are going to get into a quiz question, our final quiz question. But before we get into the question, of course, we have to let you guys know what the answer is. That last question. The first 6 chapters of 2 books of the Bible are dedicated to the story of rebuilding what? And the answer to that one was Jerusalem's temple and walls, from Ezra 6 and Nehemiah 6. Some of my favorite books in the Bible.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, dude, Nehemiah
is the king, is the bomb.
Nehemiah is probably,
goat.
for me, it's like top 3, top 4. Like,
Really?
it's it is an incredible book, Nehemiah.
Yeah, Nehemiah for me is like Bible's handbook for good leadership.
Yeah, he's
100%.
Yeah.
But hey, let's get into our next question. And this feels good asking. Usually, I'm scrapping and fighting for it. But here we go. In the book of Proverbs, there is a verse that likens a city with tumble down walls to a man who lacks what? Oh, there's furious typing happening in the studio. We have a correct answer coming in from Skafy and from Lindsay as well. They've read the book of Proverbs. The question is, have you? 0491 064 669 is the number to text if you know the answer to that question. Again, in the book of Proverbs, there is a verse that likens a city with tumble-down walls to a man who lacks what? Again, 0491 064 669 is the number to text.
Thank you very much, Lawson. This is a very, very interesting Bible passage. And we were talking about energy credits here. We got a message that came through from Brad. Yes, would you like to read that one for us?
Yeah, he says, since the 70s, global money, essentially the US dollar, has been connected to the price of oil energy. Anyway, so maybe this is just the next phase of it. Money is always an IOU on future goods, so the idea of it being an energy credit could make sense.
Yeah, look, this is Elon Musk's kind of a futuristic prediction, and the idea behind this is that a few things. Number one, governments can print money however they want.
They do print money.
And they do print a lot of money.
Yeah.
Energy, you cannot create fake energy. Energy, you either have it or you don't have it.
Yeah, it's a tangible, real-world
It's a
product
tangible
that
real
is
world.
required.
It's almost like getting back to the gold standard.
Yeah, gold or physical products like food, crops.
Yes,
Those
but
kind of
energy is
items.
way more versatile.
Yeah.
And then the second part of it is solar energy becoming so abundant that it becomes dirt cheap.
Yeah.
And one of the things that's happening now, I do not know if you have seen this one, but one of the big news from the corporate world, Boston, is that SpaceX acquired XAI.
Yeah.
So Elon Musk's like space shipping stuff company bought the artificial intelligence company, and one of his plans, if he succeeds, he's going to really make some really big changes in the world as we know it. For one of the reasons is Elon Musk is planning to build data centers in space.
Okay. Yep.
These data centers in space can be powered by solar energy. Because solar energy in space is way more abundant than solar energy on Earth.
Really?
Of course, because in space you don't have, clouds coming
Sure.
in. You do not have, bad weather. You don't need refrigeration because a big cost of data centers is
it's cooling.
to cool down the servers.
Outer space is freezing cold.
It's freezing cold, so you don't
Yeah.
have that problem.
Yeah.
So if he puts down, if he
makes
pulls
sense.
that up,
Yeah.
it's going to make a huge difference because the big restriction for AI data centers and AI technology is how much energy they're consuming.
Yeah.
Because now this energy is it's computing. There's entire cities
Yeah.
that are denying attempts for data centers to be built on them because
Right.
look, if you build
It's
your
too
data
much of a
center here,
drain.
we're not going to have energy for our houses.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's
fair.
gonna drive energy costs, up so much. And solar energy on Earth it's still not 100% reliable because there's some days that there's just no sun to be seen. But that's definitely not what happens in space. However, the next phase of that, we're talking first about data centers. The next phase of solar energy in space is that you're able to get solar energy from space but transmit it to Earth. And there's different ways you can do that. One of the ways is through laser beams.
Oh.
So you can have laser receptors here on Earth, and then you can pass that. So you can transfer that energy from your batteries or your systems in space
So
to
you don't
Earth.
need an Ethernet cable.
You don't need a you don't need a
From the
physical
moon
cable.
to the Earth.
No.
And then that laser beam that comes from space
Oh, dear.
heats up water, and then the steam from that water spins a turbine, and then we make energy. Right? Is that
I guess you could use it, but I think it would be a waste of energy. I know that you're probably joking
So
there,
long
but the
as the
idea is
laser
that
beam doesn't land on me, I'm happy.
Yeah.
transforming light into energy that's basically what solar energy is.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah, yeah.
So it's just a focused form of light that we can produce.
I think I'm just joking around because ultimately, man, it's crazy. Other than solar energy, it's wild when you find out that most forms of energy creation is basic, like nuclear. When people talk about like nuclear reactors and all this stuff, the whole point of it is to then heat up water, which creates steam that spins a turbine.
Yeah.
Like that's the majority of energy that's made is based on
just
that
finding
system.
a way.
Yeah.
That's right.
Finding a way to heat up water
Yeah.
that makes steam that spins a turbine, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, but solar is completely different beast. There's no water involved there. So
Good news.
why am I saying all of this? We're saying that we can even imagine a world with no money here and now. But heaven is not going to be necessary because you are going to have infinite amount of time, infinite amount of resources. So what kind of account do you have in heaven?
Oh, yeah, that's what we were talking about all this time. I forgot.
That's right. Paul is saying here, I seek the profit which increases to your account. They're giving money. They're giving away money. So clearly their bank account on earth, that one is not increasing. But their bank account in heaven is increasing. Now, the currency of heaven is people.
Wow.
The currency in heaven is souls.
And not like slavery.
Yeah, that
works.
was my question. That was buying and selling
No,
people,
not
or
redeeming
No.
people, saving people. That's the true
Wow.
the true wealth of heaven.
Revelation 18 says no.
yeah, to slavery. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
No, not a slavery, but redeem people that will be living forever. This is the account that they are filling up. They are filling up the amount of people that through their support to Paul is preaching the gospel. People are being saved. These people who are being saved are going to be in heaven for eternity. And they can, at one point, look at the church in Philippi and saying, hey, thank you so much for making this possible for me. That's true wealth.
Wow.
The Bible says that the New Jerusalem is adorned as a bride, and it's adorned with with the people of God, with the church, with people. This is true wealth from God's perspective. This is the true jewels in God's crowns, is you and me and people.
Beautiful.
And this is the account that they're increasing. And it's I love to say that we often, and let me just say this, we often value as Christians the direct work of mission.
Okay.
And of making disciples, right? So let's say it is one of the most incredible feelings to share the Bible with someone and then they make a decision to join the family of God.
Yeah.
They want to be baptized. They want to join the church. They want to become disciples themselves. But there's a lot that more that can be said for the people that are making this effort possible.
Yeah.
There are people supporting that in the back stages, perhaps through their tithes, perhaps through their offerings, perhaps through their donations, perhaps through their generosity, perhaps through their other ministries. They are facilitating that more like tip of the spear kind of ministry. And Paul is saying to the Philippians that every time that you are engaging, even indirectly, in supporting God's missions, you're actually supporting God's missions directly.
Yeah.
You're increasing your account. God is looking at that and saying, you know what, this is actually going to be profitable not only for God, but for yourselves. And Paul is saying, you know what? The reason that I'm happy is that while I was in need, I didn't really need anything because I know that God was going to take care of me. But because you helped me, I was so glad, not because of the material stuff that you sent me, but because I could see that you are accumulating for yourselves a wealth, riches, and treasure in heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would say it's a pretty important litmus test of someone's spiritual health, to be honest. The willingness that they have to give off the means and resources that God has entrusted them with to the mission. Now, this isn't to say, hey, more dollars equals more faithfulness, but rather, we see the story of the widow and the two mites, someone who is willing to give of what they have proportionally to the mission. And God gives a hard requirement, which is, and by hard, I mean a firm requirement of, 10%. He then says, hey, your offerings, be willing. People have different principles for that. Absolutely. But I would say, because when essentially what enables you to be generous with your wealth is realizing that God has given you everything, all of this wealth. God has given it to you for you to manage in the best way to enable people to come to heaven. Yeah. When you realize this.
This is what Jesus is saying. This is how smart people organize themselves financially, is that their ultimate purpose, their ultimate use of money from Jesus' perspective is to make friends for eternity.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate, because this is actually, when you come to think about it, you have a limited amount of time on this earth, and every other asset that you can possibly buy will one day come and disappear.
Yeah.
The only thing that has the potential to be eternal is people.
Yeah.
So you're making an investment now that is going to be yielding fruits of joy and happiness throughout eternity. God's economy is very different from our traditional economies, but it's so much better.
Yeah.
So much more beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he's doing, something that is so much more lasting with it. And it just makes me think, it doesn't just stop at, make sure you give money to the church. But even, one of my stories from my life, when I saw God really, really honor my use of my money, was I was a very, very poor church volunteer at one point in my life. And I met some friends, I made some friends, and I said, I really want to be able to bless these people and to show them that, I'm like a nice person so that we can start studying the Bible together. I want these people to be interested in knowing Jesus. Lord, help me to be generous in some way in loving to them. And basically there's these two uni students from America, and I said, hey, let's catch up for lunch. Let's go out for lunch somewhere. And we went to a very nice pizza restaurant here in Newcastle. Probably, I would say, one of the best pizzas on the East Coast. One of the best pizza restaurants.
I already know what you're talking about.
You know exactly where I'm talking about. Would you agree?
I agree.
Is it 10 minutes away?
No, it's in the middle of Newcastle.
Yeah. It's about 50 minutes from the studio or something.
That's right.
It's worth the trip.
But it's a pizza restaurant where the people are from Naples. The people who make the pizzas.
Legitimate Italian pizza.
So I took a bunch of uni students there, myself being a poor uni student. We went and had lunch, and the little money that I had in my bank account, I was like, God, just make something happen. And I decided to cover it. It was 4 pizzas for like $90 or something
right.
crazy like that.
Yeah.
Good times.
And I paid for these guys' pizza, and they're like, "No, Lawson, you shouldn't." And I'm like, "Nah, look, God's got my back. I'll cover it." These are like kind of Christian people, you know, like on a journey with God. I'm like, "Hey, God's got my back. It's all good." How that materialized after that, God honoring me, it didn't look like those people then, you know, miraculously giving money or money showing up in my bank account. But all of the people sitting at that table, it was me and 3 other people, all became baptized followers of Jesus later down the track. And that was really the beginning of it. It was from that day I asked them, like, we're leaving the restaurant. I'm like, "Hey, so do you guys want to study the Bible with me?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Like, and it was just, I feel like that act, using my money in a very specific way. I said, "God, just help this to be a blessing."
Yeah.
That generosity touched them. And it fully, like, it hurt. Like, it hurt for me to pay this. I'm like,
sure.
I'm poor, bro.
I'm sure they used the very last cent in your bank account.
But God really blessed. And so we can say, oh, you know, generosity in offering and giving and, you know, tithe and these kinds of things. But simultaneously, how can we find opportunities every single day to show generosity to people that can be translated into a life with Christ?
And generosity not only in terms of money, but in terms of energy. Since you're talking about energy, sometimes generosity looks like spending your energy with people, your time, your emotional energy. I'm a big fan of looking at resources in terms of in energy terms.
Sure.
You know, because money is just as Brad said, money in a way is just like a future promise of energy in some ways, indirectly.
Yeah.
So why not looking at our energy, volunteering, helping out at your church, helping out for a good cause, or just helping out with another person that needs.
Yeah.
This is building up your account in heaven. This is building up dividends that will have eternal results.
Yeah.
Via just having friends for eternity and people that are going to be eternally grateful for you having been played a part in the story of their salvation. The same way that I'm eternally grateful for the people that played a part in my story with God as well.
When I think about what true godly love is, I always think of it in the terms of other-centered, self-giving love.
Yeah.
Right? And so if we're spending ourselves, if we're giving our energy, we're giving of ourselves in order to show love and goodness to others, that is the best use of our time and our energy.
Oh, love is giving. In the Hebrew mindset, love and giving are basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Basically the same thing.
Yeah.
This is why God so loved the world that He
gave. Yeah.
He gave what? Gave the best that He had,
Yeah.
His only begotten Son. Because this is what love does. It gives.
Yeah.
It doesn't withhold.
100%.
Absolutely. And we can facilitate that. And this is a really important thing to understand, is that we facilitate that not just through, financial means. We're talking about energy, time. I think one of the greatest ways is creating social space for a person. You know, how good is it when you walk into a space where there's lots of people and you don't know that you don't know? I don't know if you've ever had that. You've walked into class, walked into church, walked into some event or something, and that there's a person willing to make social space for you, to talk to you, to get to know you. Man, it is one of the best feelings ever to receive.
Yeah.
Be that kind of person. I know you might not be the most listening. You might not be the most extroverted person out, and I'm pretty extroverted. But like my wife, for example, like I like to walk into big crowds and to just start making things happen socially. But my wife, she'll walk into especially we're at a university doing ministry there, walk into a big crowd of people, and she'll find that one person on the outskirts and just make time, make room for them. And all of a sudden they're in our house a couple of days later eating dinner, and they're our best friend because you made some kind of you gave this person space socially. Living a generous life applies to, yes, your resources and finances and even your energy and time, but having a giving mindset is that very thing. It's a mindset that you can apply and you can put in basically any space you can. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You're listening to the Breakfast Show podcast on Faith FM. Positively different.
Now it is time to get back into our quiz answers, but before that, Skafy, do we have a giveaway?
We have a giveaway here. It's the book Cooling Down Stress. Practical steps to relieve stress, anxiety, and depression. How to improve your well-being and deal with deep-seated issues like anger and grief. If you would like to experience that peace that surpasses all understanding, you have to understand how to manage and how to surrender grief and anger and other powerful emotions to God. If this is something that you're struggling with, this is something that God has been calling you to work on, well, we have an amazing resource for you, which is this book. We're going to send it to you free of charge. You just have to text us here to 0491 064 669 and use the hashtag #CoolIt.
Yeah, hashtag cool it is what you need to send through. You guys were also sending through some quiz answers. Good on you. Some people were saying a few different kinds of answers that we got through. Some people were saying wisdom. But hey, look, check it out. So the question was, in the book of Proverbs is a verse that likens a city with tumbled down walls to a man who lacks what? And the answer to that one from Proverbs 25 and verse 28 is self-control.
Self-control, yeah. We have some people replying wisdom, and I believe that wisdom could be included that, but the actual Bible passage talks about self-control. Self-control is so important.
Yeah.
It's definitely one topic that we don't speak enough of, in my opinion.
I love how it gives that imagery of a city with walls. So if you think of yourself as a city, like vibrant, lots of economy going on, the only way that city is going to be safe, the only way that you are going to be safe is if you have your walls up, and your walls is your self-control, is keeping yourself under control and limiting yourself when necessary, not overindulging, not sleeping in too long and not getting up in time for work, and not being overly angry, and keeping yourself under control. That way you can have the best experiences in life.
I don't know, man. Have you guys tried sleeping in? I've been doing a lot of it since I stopped on Faith FM.
I can tell that you're looking very zesty there, Lawson. Speaking of self-control, I just want to celebrate here a message that came from our friend John. He said, hey, thank you for all your continued prayers. 33 days today. Praise God.
That is so good.
John, this
We're
is
so
amazing.
proud of you, John. That's amazing. And we're going to keep praying.
Yes, fantastic. Awesome. That really brightened up my day here. Keep
now, before
strong,
we move
stay
into
strong.
some more text messages, I just wanted to say, do you know what the theme? We had a theme today. What was the theme for the quiz?
Oh, I think the theme was self-control.
No.
Nah. Because we had Samson. Okay.
That was just the answer of the last question. Come on, man.
Okay.
What was the theme?
Educated guess.
We spoke about Samson. We spoke about Jerusalem.
Jericho.
And Jericho. Oh, I think it's about walls.
Yeah. That's correct.
Oh, okay.
Falling walls mainly.
Yeah, that's right. Not building them. We're not doing any Donald Trump MAGA things in here.
It was rebuilding the
bringing them down.
walls, so.
Speaking of walls, I just want to give a shout out to people in the city of Walls End that are listening to us.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Walls End people. Great suburb here in Newcastle. I'm sure there are other Walls Ends around.
Dude, Walls End is one of my favorite suburbs specifically because of its name. And the reason is that because most of our like Australian town names, if they're in English, then they're copies of English towns, right?
Yeah,
and
Swansea and
that's right. Cardiff and whatnot.
Yeah.
The town of Wallsend, the city of Wallsend in the UK is because there's a massive, long, I think, sheep wall, and the town of Wallsend is at the end of that wall. But there's no wall to be spoken of for the Wallsend here in Newcastle. It's, it's just we copied the name. Neither is there a Newcastle either. It's just, we're just copying names without the
There's no
meanings.
castle in Newcastle.
There's a nice cathedral in Newcastle.
Yeah, it's not a castle.
That's
not a castle.
Yeah, and
but
it's not new.
big and made of stone. So
Yeah, that's right. Shout out them guys.
So shout out to Walls End. Shout out to the people in Newcastle area. We love you very much. It's great to spend these mornings with you. And we're coming up to the end of our show. Lawson, why don't you share with us something you're grateful for? Oh, before you do, I'm grateful that I served you yesterday.
Yes.
I served you a burger and a Snickers smoothie at Food Pharmacy.
I didn't have a burger, actually. I had one of the poke bowls, which was really yummy. Rice and edamame beans and tofu and
that one
good
is delicious.
veggies. Dude, it was so good. And the Snickers smoothie, bro, don't even get me
Was it good?
started.
to
It was-
round out your health.
Dude, it was cacao and peanut butter and everything. Dude, I was looking at this menu and I'm like, man, how can I eat the most unhealthy thing at a really healthy restaurant and they still gave me healthy food? So, look, I was really looked after and I was super grateful.
I might have to go now.
Yes, I had one friend of mine come in and say, hey, are these cookies healthy? And says, mate, everything here is healthy. You don't even need to ask.
Yeah.
Shout out Food Pharmacy.
Shout out
Everyone,
Food
you should go
Pharmacy.
check it out if you're in the Newcastle area.
There you go.
Absolutely.
52 out of Street, Cardiff. Pop by. You might see me serving you some Snickers smoothies.
See, that's one way to get your meal with a co-host.
That's right. That's one way.
Even
Yeah.
putting your name
To
in
win
the
the
February
birthday.
draw, which we're calling out this Friday.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So what are you grateful for, Lawson, other than my the Snickers smoothies that I made you yesterday?
Oh man, I tell you what, I am super grateful for Shell, for producer Shell, getting me up early in the morning, threatening me, to get
Send
me
some goons.
to pay my
microphones
bills, or AKA to bring back a microphone. But hey, look, no, I'm just grateful that God is doing amazing things in I think so many people's lives that I know. God is changing people's lives, opening them and awakening them to the truth of His soon return. So I'm
Amen.
super grateful for that.
Yeah,
Awesome.
That's very exciting. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tomorrow we will be back. So talk faith, live faith, and act faith.
God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. By His counsel's guide uphold you, with His sheep securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. Until we meet again at Jesus' feet again. God be with you till we meet again.
Thanks for being a part of the Faith FM family. Join our community on Facebook or get in touch at 1-800-FAITH-FM.